incredibly excited to be with you here today, in large part because Governor State has a special place in my heart. So both of my parents went to school or took classes here. So I remember being on this campus, particularly when my father was here later in life, and seeing everything that occurs here, and especially the sense of activism and engagement and investment of the students and community here. So it's very special for me to be back. I am particularly pleased that the theme of this is not leadership or social justice, but leadership and social justice. And let me tell you why. All too often in the academic literature, the dominant discourse that people write about, social activism is treated as something completely different than leadership. It's written about as if it is some kind of episodic, unsustainable action, divorced from this concept of leadership as engagement, typically authority and power. And I think that's a dangerous differentiation to make, because when I look at history, when I look at even our contemporary perspectives, the most compelling social, political, scientific issues we face are all rooted in social issues. They are all manifest and addressed best through social activism. So let's think about this word leadership that has so much power. Leadership. It's a word that simultaneously can evoke both wildly divergent perspectives, positive and negative. For some, leaders and leadership are the single answer to every issue we face. All we need is some good leadership. That's what we're missing in this recipe. We just need some good leaders and we could solve this issue. For others, it's negative. It's associated with abuse of authority, abuse of power, social stratification, ways in which elites don't distribute knowledge, power, resources. And leadership doesn't evoke that sense of moving forward and progress. And to be candid, that was my understanding of leadership. Growing up, I didn't have access to leadership training at the schools I went to. Those were reserved for people who were elected to roles. Popularity. A problem. I saw people all around me who were engaged in social activism who were never acknowledged for their work. They didn't want to be, but it was treated as separate. They were engaged in deep work around racial justice, hunger and homelessness, and yet no training and resources were available to them. And so for me, leadership was a dirty word. It was something I didn't want to be part of at all, but social activism I could relate to. When I went to grad school, I was introduced to a model, the social change model of leadership development, that was the first time I could see myself in this leadership landscape. It was the first time I saw social activism as a possibility. And this model, which doesn't often enter into the dominant discourse, but is important and used widely on college campuses, has three important premises. First and foremost, anyone can be a leader. Now, that's not rocket science. Hopefully, we all can espouse and believe in that, but we don't act in those ways. And so it suggests that that is at the heart of leadership. Second, that leadership is collective action. It is about the relationships we form and how we leverage those for social change. And most importantly, it situates social justice as inherent to and embedded in the deepest parts of how we understand leadership. The model suggests that we have to first look at ourselves. Who are we in context? Who am I when I enter a space as a man, as a white man, as a gay white man? How does that then shape the way I interact with others? How does it inform my effectiveness in leadership and social activism processes? What does that then manage and look like when I try and build collective action and solidarity with groups to effectuate change? And then how does it transform the ways I think about my ability to engage in community? To engage in community collectively, to leverage the things I want to address. This model has been studied in lots of different ways. I'm pleased that the research that I've conducted over the last probably 2 decades has really reduced, I think, to 3 simple things that we can think about. I hope you'll take away with you today. One, when we talk about leadership for social change, at the heart of it is our relationships. It's never about critical mass. Grace Lee Boggs reminds us that it is about critical connections that we make with one another. Second, solidarity is not just a name, it's something you cultivate over time through interactions about and across difference, expressing empathy and engaging. And third, resilience is at the heart of all of this. We have to stay in the struggle. We have to find ways to stay in the struggle. And most importantly, we have to support one another in the struggle. So as we leave here today, I hope that one of the things you'll think about is that leadership and social activism don't have to be separate things. People make them separate things because they benefit from it. And most importantly, I hope you walk away never letting anyone tell you that social activism is not leadership. Thank you.